Welcome back to Switch to Linux. I forgot my Switch to Linux shirt. Ha ha ha. Those little things that you forget when you just get started to do things, right? I've been prepped up for a long time. Fortunately, I keep it pretty close. Ha ha, there we are. Oh boy. So, a couple things you'll notice. I have a nice wall behind me now. This is the first attempt I'm doing at soundproofing things in here. Of course, this isn't full soundproofing, but it is certainly, hopefully, going to help keep the sound down a little bit lower. So, pretty much this collage behind me is actually a series of rugs that I have made over the years. There's one that's out of view here that's kind of a corny looking unicorn, so I decided, put that one most out of view. And this one here, of course, we have a hummingbird and an eagle. We have an owl up here. It's a snow owl. And we have the dolphins over there. So those are all latch hook rugs that I built a long time back. And just a nice little hobby to do that. And what happens is, I just put those up because I thought it'd be a lot cooler looking than putting up soundproofing panels all over, and we're going to see what that does. And then we're going to continue to go back with everybody, then figure out, make sure it's quiet enough. And so I'm going to try and keep it down, but there's going to be some times I'm going to get excited because this is just this is nice little nice stream here today. So what we are going to be talking about is our chief topic, dining in or out. Privacy is on the line. There's some weekly news updates. All right, so hello everybody. Thanks for joining me, and we've already had 3 people on here before I even turned the stream on. So thanks everybody for popping on by, and hopefully we're going to have a great time today. All right, Australia started mass data collection of web traffic and email data 2 days ago. Ooh, I did not hear about that one. Can you send me some articles about it? Let's see. What do kitties think of the rugs? The kitties, I don't know. They've always kind of hung in my various places around the house. This is the first time they've all been in one room, and so... and of course, it's all across the desks here, so they can't access it because my cats are actually very well behaved. They know that they're not allowed up on tables, they're not allowed on computer desks and things like that. And so literally, I could go put a plate of food down on my coffee table, go back into the kitchen for something else, come back. They might be sniffing the air, but they're never going near that. They're very well-trained cats. They know where they're allowed to be, and, as long as I'm not home, they obey that. Of course, cats are like kids. If you're not home, they'll jump all over the stuff. The cats, I've never catched cats on the table, but when I leave the house, the security cameras pick them up on the table all the time. So, all that being said, there you go. So, my day, Ryan, is going very well. Thank you. I hope you are doing well. What do you think of the Ryzen 5 1600X on Linux? I don't know. I have no idea. It's not something that I have looked into, so I can't really comment much on that. All right. So what we are going to do today, we are going to have a look at a few different topics. Let me grab my articles so I can remember my topics. Our topics are going to be, first, we're going to talk about privacy. Second, we're going to talk about hackers and scammers, and then scary technology, and then good but troubling. Actually, a little bit of good news today. Hello, Muggles. My cat is sitting in such a way that the one ran off, the other one's just kind of laying in this dark corner, really hard to see, so I'm not going to flash over the kitty for you. Unless he jumps up on top or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Chances are he's going to stay right there. He is definitely my Linux cat. He is figured out his new favorite place to sleep is on my computer case. And so I just leave the computer case sprawled out across the floor when I'm not using it, and that's his new favorite cat bed. Go figure. Oh boy. Let's see. How to install Windows because Linux was acting up, mainly with my hard drive. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not good. Cat's bipolar 2, once in, once out, once in, once out, once in. Can't figure out if I want the door open or closed, or open or closed, or open or closed, or open or closed. Uh, I used to be a scammer. I moved to hacking. All right. Linux cat. Woohoo. I took an arrow to the keyboard. All right. Let's go ahead and jump in with our first conglomeration. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this. I custom built this logo to incorporate all of the privacy articles, and I wasn't sure it was in good taste or bad taste, or I don't know what kind of taste. So here we are. You let me know. Oh yeah. Let's go through the articles first, and then I'll explain that picture as if it needs explanation. All right. So first, I wanted to look at this. There has been this interesting trend of companies figuring out ways to get around COPPA. Of course, COPPA is the Children's Online Protection and Privacy Act, or something there. I know it's Children's Online something act, and I think protection and privacy are in there. So this is a law in the United States where a company is not allowed to collect data on a person under the age of 13. And it really never mattered a whole lot if it was consensual to the parents or if it is not consensual to the parents. Give me just a second. Someone said the audio sounds choppy. I don't know. I'm showing audio looking good. Give me a second. Let me turn this on and say something and see what it says here. Give me just a second. It is not consensual to the parents. Give me just a second. Someone said the audio sounds choppy. I concur. It kind of looks a little bit like the audio might be a little choppy. Let me look if there's something I can probably do about that. I'm wondering if it might be just the number of browser tabs I have up. And I doubt it though. I'm going to check my system monitor real quick. Gee, my entire system's only using 15% of no, actually 11% of my RAM, so I don't think it's my system. Latency for the webcam. Okay, let me continue to look to see if there's anything else I can do about that. I'm thinking it's just a Google Stream thing. I'm not sure I can do much more about the audio. Let me see if there's anything else. I have verified all of my settings. My settings do look good. Okay, we're going to have to run with that, and hopefully it's not too choppy. I'm looking at all my settings. If it still continues to be choppy, I'm going to mess around with my settings a little bit here and see if I can't figure it out. All right. So anyway, we're looking at this, and I was talking about COPPA. So COPPA is the Privacy Act that prevents companies from collecting data about young people in America. And the challenge is that COPPA... companies have been figuring out how to get around COPPA. Of course, I think it was Google. We talked about Google's last week. Was it Google's? I think it was Google's last week, where you can get the family plan. They call it the family plan, and then you get to upgrade to your regular plan once you turn 13. It's like a special privilege. It's like a new thing. It's like here now in America, you know. I mean, we know you get your driver's license at 16. We know you can vote at 18. We know you can drink at 21. And now you can get your Facebook account, your Google account, or your every other account at 13, because that's when COPPA cuts off. So with that being said, Amazon now has released this, and they're tying this into trying to have, how to have good discussion means. And basically what this is it was a Amazon parent program. So it's a discussion cards and parent dashboard. It's a way for families to discover, share, and connect through Amazon's free time. So pretty much the parent will have an app on their phone, and this is going to be tied into an app or whatever that a child has on their electronic device, be it a tablet or something else. And then what happens is that now with that parent's permission tied into sort of the parent's app, what happens is they can now get in there and start collecting all this data on the young people, because the parents are now saying, okay, whatever. The challenge happens to become with the fact that now you have Amazon as a company is collecting all of this data on all of these people, young people. And the problem is and we're going to talk about this at the last article we're doing today on the privacy setting, is that what happens is these companies are trying to get user information about the children younger and younger and younger, because A, it gives them a frame of reference to see how do people change and grow over the years, but B, it keeps you knowledgeable about how they're using their tech and spending their time, etc., as they are living their life. And so with that, it's really giving companies way more data collection. And in one article, we'll mention it briefly here, before the time the children are even aware what's going on. And the reality is, even a lot of teenagers and people over the age of 13 still do not fully grasp the amount of danger and potential issues. And I'm not saying don't ever use anything that tracks your data. What I'm saying is be smart about it when you do. And so with this new Amazon family, and of course the next thing they said is it gives you these discussion cards. So the parent then can click on the information and break it down into charts and graphs. How much time are they spending, exactly what video they're watching. And this all means that the parent can see this for the kid. This all means that Amazon can see that for the kid too. And then they'll bring up, discussion points. So they used at one point in time, the article in here, they said, well, the challenge is how are they, if you're spending so much time on looking at cats and dogs, well, now you can bring up discussions. What is a cat? What is a dog? What is a feline? It's like, guys, that's not what your kids are watching. You better have a discussion card for how to watch some bad stuff, and you better be prepared for it. But the challenge is, with parenting in this, the challenge is that oftentimes we do not talk with our kids, we talk at our kids, and that's a major difference. So I have watched this trend happen, and usually we saw this in the churches and things. So there was this time in the 80s when parents just got tough, because of course coming out of the 70s is like free love, like 60s is like nobody cares, like do whatever you want to do, and then you get 70s free love, and then people realize that with free love kids go crazy, and then in the 80s it's a little bit harder, and we got this harder, and then in the 90s it started to shift back a little bit more. It's like every decade it shifts back a little bit more, and then it shifted back again, and it's like we got to be buddy and friends with our kids, and then now this pendulum swings the other way again and going, no, it's the parent. And the reality is, boom. Yeah, I know the audio seems to be skipping. I have no idea what's up with it. Give me just a second. Let me see if there's anything else I can do on the audio. I think one of the things that happened is I did something that reset everything, and when that happened, it messed up all of the settings I spent a long time figuring out, and the audio got messed up in there. I think that's what's going on. I mean, it's either that or it's something with YouTube. Let me try doing a mic adjustment and see if that helps. All right. Not ideal. Is that any? Let's try that. I think. Okay. I'm gonna move the mic quite a bit closer. Let's see if that helps. I'm tied up. I can't tell if it's something having to do with my studio or if it's having to do with YouTube itself. Custom bitrate, CPU profile, tune. Okay, how's that? All right, we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna see how we can manage here. I'm gonna try that, and yeah, bandwidth. It possibly could be bandwidth. I'm not sure. I think one of the things I really have to do is get a new modem. I'm still on a DOCS 2.0 modem. Now I have 6 upload speed most times, so I'm not sure it's that, but I don't know. I think that's one of the things I need to do is figure that out. So we'll just keep going, and if it's super bad, I'm sorry. It is. Yeah, I think it's definitely a problem on my end. I'm gonna have to play with this, so I might do some diagnostic random live streams. So all right, there we go. Let's have a look here. All right. Ronald McDonald adopted some kids. No, we'll explain that in a little bit. All right. Not use VPNs that put your data online. Okay. '70s was Disco Love. '80s was Magnum's Ferrari and Mr. T's. '90s was Grudge Planet. Sounds a bit robotic. Let's see. Well, I mean, I've not had issues with OBS. The challenge the challenge that I've had with it, when had done some retooling so I could save and reconfigure different files, and when I did that, it messed up all of my settings. It actually took me 6 months to get the settings to the point where I had really good audio quality, and so I got to get back to that. So I think I'll probably end up doing some diagnostic live streams here to see if I can get there. Hello, Ahmed. How are you? Hi, Diego. Hi, Albert. Bernie, hello. This time you end up going to another monitor, if that rings a bell. The choppy stopped when you did that. Well, the thing is that I didn't have any problems with OBS Studio until my settings got reset. The OBS Studio is good once you get your settings figured out, and that's what happened is my settings got figured out. So maybe if I can't get it perfectly resolved, I'll do the next live stream on the laptop because that one did not get settings set up. CPU, not likely. It's possible with how many articles I have open. Right click on the YouTube video and activate statistics for nerds. Yeah, some people have had some issues, and you know what? Something else of note, my OBS did upgrade to that 18.0.1. That could be it, but I know it was choppy before that happened. Anyway, we're just going to go on. People are saying go on. It's not too bad, so we'll see what happens here. We'll get it resolved. All right. So anyway, this Amazon stuff, this is more about collecting data, not about anything else. All right. Charter Communications, this was accused of selling personal data without consent. So basically, Charter comes up and they're collecting all this data, and then what happens is they what happens is they started selling all this data, and when they sold all of this data, people came back and said, well, you know what? At the time we signed up with it, you didn't have these privacy policies in place. We were never informed of that. We never agreed on it. And so they're trying to start a class action lawsuit. If I remember, it was somewhere in the millions of people, which of course means that Charter will end up paying a few $1,000,000, but not acknowledge any wrong. The lawyer's going to run off with most of that, and then each person in the class lawsuit's going to get a good shiny quarter. And that'll be the end of that. And that's why we have all these problems, is that there is no accountability for companies. Okay, browser. Let me try this. If that happened there, I'm going to try this. Give me just a second. Okay, let's see if this helps it. What I did is I disabled the moving animation in the background. It's very possible that the moving animations in the background are messing with things. So I just took that out. Let me know if that resolves the audio stuff. Anyway, so these class action lawsuits are never really beneficial for anybody, which, and it's like, yeah, well, but the companies, I really think that you take these class action lawsuits, you should take the amount of money that you're paying, that the company has to pay, and when the company is done paying, then the lawyer can get a certain amount, and then literally give hundreds of extra dollars to all of the people. Then when you do that. Audio's okay now. All right, great, good. So maybe what I need to do is evaluate and not use the animated backgrounds as I move in quite as much. So good. That seems to be the problem. Running animated backgrounds in the background seems to do it. I'll track down some time and see if I can figure out what is it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. See, right there, somebody gave me a diagnostic piece of information. It happened when you change your screen. Perfect. Told me exactly what the problem was. All right. Okay. This one. The chief article. Large fries? Extra sauce? Why McDonald's wants to track all your dining habits. Now, obviously, we know that companies are collecting all this data. Okay? So companies are collecting all this data, but this is the first time I actually saw an article where the company is saying, I am tracking this data for the purpose of selling you something. Everyone else is trying to take the high road. Better customer experience. Well, if customer experience means separating me from a little bit more of my money, then yeah, maybe it is a better customer experience. Sounds more like more of a business experience. But this is the first time I encountered a company where they were collecting data and specifically acknowledging that the collected data was to track and sell you more information. So McDonald's has had an app for a long time, but what they're doing now is they're putting in the ability to, I think you could always place orders in advance. Now you can pay with the app, but they're tracking everything and giving you extra coupons as you put your orders through. So start expecting within the next few weeks, if you go into McDonald's, then start expecting to be pushed this app and sign up here and get some coupons. And then we have to question, is it really worth the companies collecting all of the data? Is it worth the price of a milkshake to you? Is your private data worth the price of a milkshake? And suppose that we get to that point where we're collecting all this data on us, and then what they're doing with it is just using that to send you more things. Well, what if you just don't have any thought of McDonald's for the day? Like, McDonald's hasn't even come across your mind, and then all of a sudden you get a notification on your phone. Whoa, notification on your phone. And then boom, it's a McDonald's ad. Well, that just titillated you to say, well, it planted that seed for McDonald's. And then you get another one. Then you get another one. The Big Mac does sound good. And then, free fries if you buy a Big Mac. That's what they're doing, and it's kind of scary. And it should me shocked because I like the only notification comes through for a phone is if somebody called or sent me a text. All right, so I had to reset my Galaxy. There's something going goofy with the screen, and so I had to reset it. And when I did that, I didn't bother resetting any of the settings, and so like ever since I've done that, every time I pick the thing up, there's some stupid notification. It's just like, that drives me mad. How do people turn on all these notifications? And it's even worse if it's 15 different companies are all tracking you and trying to separate you from your money, sending you stuff. Man, you're just getting out and eating too much. So here, millennials and the younger Gen Z tend to be more open to their data being shared, but Pilper believes the acceptance of data sharing with all of its dangers and benefits is more widespread than people admit. They say they don't want to give everything away, but they're on Facebook, they're on Google. He noting that 90% of Facebook users keep location services on, allowing Facebook ads to target consumers based on their location. Yeah, I think that could potentially just be stupidity. I'm not completely sure. But this is freaky, but again, this is the very first time that I've seen a company come out and say, we are mining your data so that we can target you more with stuff. It's the very first time I've seen that happen. I'm sure it's happened before, but this is the first time I've actually seen that. Oh boy. Wow. I'm getting so many comments here. Let's see. Audio's fixed good. Let's see. Oh, class action lawsuit. I got 313. I think I got one that was so small it wasn't worth my time going to the bank and cashing it. You use KDE desktop. My main computer is Linux Mint Cinnamon. This computer is Linux Mint KDE. Yes. SMC file to reset my BIOS setting on a refurbished business laptop before I get Mint. Collecting the data for insurance purposes. Yeah, we don't want anybody spilling any more coffee on them. Or what about this? I spilled a cold milkshake. It was too cold. It got my dress dirty. I don't wear dresses, but Big data from Big Mac, yeah. If your CPU use is bad, use XFC or LXDE. Yes, that is correct. Those are very lightweight. It's not the golden arch anymore. I don't know. It's the golden something. Depends on the milkshake flavor. I would for banana milkshake. Banana milkshake. Sounds good. Actually, I made a banana ice cream. Never tried one of those. That was amazing, though. You could try that out. Supersize it. Yeah, I mean, I would, but, Morgan Spurlock put too much pressure on and did away with my supersized fries. Now I'm mad. I think, though, I heard you can get a bucket now maybe. Which is kind of funny because Tom Naughton said in Fathead, if McDonald's wants to sell me a bucket of fries for 50 cents, that's my business. Free obesity stats. Yep. Get a free Big Mac. Singularity happens. Notice their phone, and anyone rooted their phone put desktop Linux on it. Usually you couldn't because desktop Linux systems are usually x64, and a phone is usually an ARM processor. But you could do things like you could try doing the Windows 10 ARM version. You thought your phone spied before. All right. Yeah, brick the device. Yeah. I keep location services off at all times. Yep, absolutely. Greetings, APP Hood Cleaning. How are you? Brain freeze, class action. Is Ubuntu Mate a good distro? I think it is a good distro. It's not one I have a lot of experience with, but Ubuntu is pretty solid. Mate is very solid. Ubuntu Mate is sworn by several excellent people. I have not used it a whole lot myself other than just simple reviews, but everything I've seen does look awesome. All right. Using Linux since I got a laptop. I don't like being tracked or viruses. Yes, absolutely. Very good. I don't care. Very smart of you also. And yeah, and you know what? I'm not sure. I think Gen Z falls into those that are just completely blind and just fall into whatever, do whatever feels good, and those that actually think about things. But I don't think that's any different from any generation. I think every generation had that problem, including my own. I know a whole lot of people my age are just like, oh, whatever. I don't care if I'm tracked. View an Ubuntu phone, where it stands. Actually, with Ubuntu phone, Brian Lenduke got an official statement from Canonical, and basically he said within like 2 months, like by sometime in June, they're going to shut down the servers. People can maintain them until I think the end of this year. After that, they're pretty much defunct unless someone else picks it up. I would love to see Ubuntu phone and watch that discussion from Brian Lenduke. I want to say it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. It was yesterday. It was Thursday. It was their Linux hour, which they always do on Thursday. So go check out that video. Very beginning, he talks about Ubuntu phone, that like where it stands. Me personally, I would love to have any phone running a pure Linux system, not Android or whatever else, but I'd love any phone running a pure Linux system. And I think that is it Matt, I think is a gentleman he has on there with, who runs, I can't remember the name of the other site, the site Joe Collins blogs with as well. He said it perfectly. If you have a phone that you can't buy in the United States, you're not serious about selling it. Because I would have changed carriers to get the Ubuntu phone if it was available in the United States. But I'm not going to pay 5 times what it's worth to have the thing shipped over here and possibly show up in a year and a half. You know? Plan to get a tablet. As far as tablets are concerned, I like, if I have my choice between an iPhone and an Android phone, or an iPad or an Android tablet, I like iPhone more than I like Android. I think that the settings are easier to use. I think they're more respectable to the privacy data. They are encrypted by default. And if I'm talking about a tablet, I like the iPad way better than the Android tablet. So assuming you have the money, of course, don't go into the store and buy one new. Pick up a good used one. I like buying my used tablets, used phones. In fact, my iPad is right here. This is an iPad Air 1, I think. I specifically wanted an Air 1, not an Air 2. It's a space gray. It's in perfect shape. I bought this used at at GameStop. I think I said Best Buy earlier. GameStop. I bought it used at GameStop for $200 a couple years ago. And that is the best place to look for things. What I do is I go in, I look online, figure out what I want. I go into the physical store. You pay for it up front at the physical store. I have them ship it to the store. I go to the store and I open it up in the store at the time I do my full testing. Never had a problem with it. Totally awesome. So that's my thoughts on tablets. 2 months old, could have been good. Wasn't very appealing for compatibility. ARM Linux may only be good until June. No, it's the Ubuntu phone is only good until June. ARM Linux, lots of things run ARM. That's what a Raspberry Pi is, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Brian Lenduke rocks. I agree. It is Lenduke, yes, thank you. Not Landuke, Lunduke. All right. What if the iPad has a keylogger? I don't think an iPad is a functional enough device to worry about it. Perfectly honest. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at a few more articles here. All right, so Amazon. This is interesting. How Amazon Go probably makes just walkout groceries a reality. So Amazon Go is the idea for their Amazon doing the stores. And the idea is you simply walk into the store, you throw your stuff in your bag, and you walk out of the store. And then everything just cashlessly comes out of your Amazon account. And I just think this is so wrong on so many levels. Like, first, the level of pure data tracking. Like, they know exactly who you are, and they have linked you to your Amazon account when you first walk in the store. They're tracking everything you're picking up, putting down, looking at, staring at, whatever else. Okay? And then you just walk out of the store, and they know what's in your shopping cart. This is creepy. Everything's tied in. It's almost getting to that point where you just don't, I don't know. Like, you don't even need the little 666 carved into your arm anymore to do commerce. They just do it from your biometric tracking that you can't change. And that's freaky to me. That's scary stuff to me. So this is interesting, but it's very, very freaky. All right. And then the last article on the privacy set is this one here. And I am not going to talk about this a whole lot, but this is an issue that has interested me for a while, and that I have wanted to tackle for quite a long time. And I was wondering where it stood. And then, wouldn't you know it, that the electronic, is it Freedom Foundation, EFF, comes out, and they've been studying this for a while as well. So on Wednesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, I am planning to do another live tinfoil hat time discussing this very topic. And what we're going to do is, there is a 50-page report. It is linked in this article. If you can go to The Consumerist and look up this article, and I'm going to have these articles listed in my show notes when I'm done here. The PDF right here will load up your full PDF, and you can come in and read that 50-page document if you want, and we are going to have a live discussion on a live tinfoil hat time on Wednesday. And all I want to say about this is we need to be very cognizant about it, and this is representative of the fact that nobody knows what data is being collected anyway, because we all at least have pretended to agree to the privacy policies and terms and conditions, but what we're finding in the schools, nobody's even agreed. It's simply been pushed on you, and most schools have no option except to use the electronic surveillance technology that is provided, such as Chromebooks, etc., things like that. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. And what I'm going to do next is, give me just a second, because I need to kick out the video for the next thing so that our audio does not get choppy again. I'm just going to go ahead and kick them all out now. All right. Oh, and you know what? I didn't get a chance to explain. In case you totally missed it, our picture here is now there was some freaky dude dressing as Ronald McDonald looking in fast food restaurants in Florida late at night, and that was creepy enough. But I was looking for a Ronald McDonald. He is, of course, peering through the Windows 10 logo, because what's better at spying you than that? Monitoring specifically what the children are eating, because children are what are in the school systems, and of course Amazon Arrow is dictating what he's looking at and tracking. So that was kind of my idea on that logo. Yeah, a little creepy, but it's okay. All right, so now we are on to our next topic, which is hackers and scammers. Hackers and scammers. So I put a botnet on top of a robocaller behind jail, because the cool thing happened this week, and that's like 3 big botnet scammers and fraudsters were shut down. Booyah! About time. However, you say that got shut down. Apparently it's still not working, because I got a call again from another scammer just tonight. Actually, I think I got another one earlier today too. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy. So anyway, the AT&T has their new in-house system. This thing officially has blocked its 1 billionth robocall. It's not working too well, because a friend of mine who might be watching here has AT&T on his phone, and he still gets them. So I don't think it has nearly as much to do with the robocalls. Like, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. And as I read through this article, the biggest challenge is that, literally, get this, like, they're determining this by phone numbers making short calls to people. Same phone numbers. Like, have they not realized that all of these scammers what they're actually doing is spoofing the phone numbers. You can call them right back on the very same number that they just called you from, and when they do that, it automatically goes into nothingness. And so, what do you do? What do you do? All right, let me double check on comments for the final part of the privacy part, and then we'll get into the next one there. You know, the chance of the iPad having a keylogger when you got it, that'd be extremely rare, especially since they'd have to have a way to install it beyond the firmware after you refresh it. Because, of course, you buy a used device, first thing you want to do is you want to test all the stuff, and then go down to the very bottom, and you want to reset it back to factory. That's why. Okay. Consider a Chromebook, but switch it to Linux. About the phone side of things, just like get an Ubuntu phone to keep on my shelf. Yeah, that would be cool. Have an iPad and only 2 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, like I said, I don't really do much on my iPad. My iPad, I use it to watch videos and check up some internet things here and there. I don't think a tablet is a nearly as useful device as everyone thought that they were going to be. Keyboard comes handy in school. Yeah. Country I live in gave me a free refurbished laptop that had a bunch of visual broadcasting programs running. Is that to track what you were doing? Yeah, that was kind of scary. Freaky. Love Windows 10 tracking you in school. Well, the problem is, like, I think some computers are running Windows 10 in schools, but actually a lot of schools are doing a lot of things on Chromebooks, at least the student end of things. Everything Chromebooks through Google, etc. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday, but don't you love using Surface Pro 3 and 69 ratio so it shows up correctly on the monitoring software? Yeah, I don't have a Surface Pro 3 personally. The Surface Pro 1 is the one I have. It is also 16:9, and it shows up fine. Scammers want you to say yes, and they take that out of context and put you illegally into a contract. Yes, I saw that. In fact, the one that got me today, I told him yes, but I told him yes in a weird, crazy accent. So, yeah, good luck with that one. Like, yeah, is this it? No, it's not me. It sounds like some Indian dude, you know? But yeah, I didn't have time to mess with him, so. Not trying to troll you, young man, just giving you options, all right? Kept taking the tablets away from me because I was disabling networking so I could just look up Ryzen 5 specs for review. All right. So, our next article on the hackers. This one here is a concerning one. If you are buying things on third-party sellers on Amazon, be very careful if something looks too good to be true. I did not go to the root thing. I kind of have an embargo against Wall Street Journal articles because you get there and they whine about ad blockers. They whine if you don't have a subscription. They just whine. So I'm like, yeah, never mind. I'm not going to bother going there anymore. I should just block them at the host level so I don't accidentally click on their links sometime. So what they're doing is they're utilizing Amazon and they're hacking into the Amazon accounts and they're doing this by utilizing some of the other data breaches. If you're using the same password for Amazon as you are for something else, like you shouldn't be doing, but most people do anyway. And so what they were doing is they were using those, logging into Amazon and either A, putting up a whole lot of phony sales, or they were B, just stealing legitimate money out of the people's accounts by changing the location of where the money went. So be careful on the third parties. I think it's a bigger deal if you sell on Amazon on third parties. Double check that your password's secure and your password was not used with anything else that has had a data breach. And then you should be fine. Just be aware that there is a problem with Amazon third-party sellers and getting hacked and targeted. Okay, so on to some now jailed nets, bots, scammers, and spammers. FTC ends up blocking an agency that it was claiming to be the FTC. Like, I have a hint for you people. The FTC is never going to contact you, even if you contact them about something. I don't know how many complaints I put into the FTC about different things, and they never get back to you. I think it's just a cover for I don't know, like government sleeping or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you know, FTC is not going to contact you people, okay? And so they ended up, what they have to do, of course, is they can't get in and say, they can't get in here and find somebody guilty. They have to do a temporary restraining order to prevent them from doing whatever, and then blah, 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 and then a court case has to look into it. You have all this, and this is why we have scammers, people. This is just overabundance. We should just take the scammers when we find them, hang them in town square, and be done with them. It'll be done, you know? But anyway, they did arrest a group that was, let's see, Danny Croft was misleading consumers by falsely telling them that his fake company's PC Guru Tech Support, often called PC Guru, and Elite Tech Support, were they for Microsoft Technical Support, I wondered, and Elite Technical Support were hired by the FTC to contact consumers to remove malicious software installed on their computers. Okay, so phone randomly rings. Ring, 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 ring. Oh, hi. We're from Guru PC Tech. We have determined that there is malware on your system, and we have been hired by the FTC to help you remove it. Maybe on the one argument, if you're dumb enough to fall for that, maybe it's something, but they're shut down. That's good. Been a lot of stuff over here. Let's see. Which OS do you personally use the most? Me personally, I actually have Linux Mint Cinnamon on 2 of my computers because I just like it that much. Now, I'm a web developer, so I'm all over all OSs. So my main web development work computer is Windows 7 with my backup that runs some of my mail accounts and all my Skype accounts, and all accounts for one client is a Mac. I have a Linux Mint KDE here, which exclusively a media computer. It just plays videos and music for me while I'm doing other things. And then, of course, I have the Linux computers, which get used. This one's my dedicated video recording computer, and the other one is my computer running that I use for my backup web development. So if I'm traveling on the road, I have a dedicated web development computer to bring for that. That one also runs Linux Mint. See you later, Ahmed. Can't buy a tablet from Amazon. Why is that? I prefer Mint because it's similar to Ubuntu but has a larger software department. Yeah, I really like Mint. That is my favorite. Yeah, eBay might track you too. I don't have an account over there either. I occasionally buy things as a guest checkout on eBay if I need to, but you know what? It occurred to me. I'm always trying to improve the quality of my streams, other than our video hiccup. I hope we did that. But I realized as I look at the comments, how I have my screen set up, it looks like I'm looking down like this. And so I'm going to do this, and it looks more like I'm looking into the camera when I'm looking at the comments. Haha. I don't use Windows. My mom got a call from Yahoo scammers because she couldn't remember her email password. Use Gmail. Why? I would not use Gmail. All right. Indian police arrest an alleged kingpin of U.S. tax scams. So this is a guy who's been bilking Americans out of over $300 million in taxes. And this is something they do in many foreign countries. We don't do it here. We just presume you're guilty until you're proven innocent. Then you have to deal with all the crap for the rest of your life. But here, for your perp walk, they give you a hood. So at least if you're somewhat innocent, everyone doesn't know who you are. But oh well. But anyway, this guy here was arrested. Now this place was infiltrated. They have charged more than 60 people in India, and at least 15,000 people have been targeted by this one telefraud run out of India. So 15,000 people gave up $300 million to scammers in India. Okay, here's another tip for you. If you want more tips on scammers, they're never going to ask you to pay on Amazon cards, PayPal cards, iTunes cards, or whatever. Just an FYI. But anyway, these guys were shut down, and then also fatal blow to the botnet that menaced the world for 7 years. So this guy here was a big kingpin to a big botnet that's been going on, I think, since 2010 or 2012. 2010. They knew who he was, but he was in Russia without any extradition, and so they couldn't do anything with him. Well, he takes a trip to Spain. They picked him up right out of his trip to Spain, just because, why not? But anyway, this is the guy who was responsible for sending somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 million spam emails, which is probably only like less than 1%. Does anybody have those stats off the top of their head? I don't know how many emails have been sent by scammers, but this is a good thing. So, these here, we got some good stuff coming up. There's been some good takedowns. Three scammers are out. There's probably about 15 million more of them out there. So we're going to keep getting scammer calls. If I catch any more, they will be online. I don't use Gmail. Whew, thank you. All right. Opinion of Richard Stallman and Free Software Foundation. I don't know a whole lot more than about it, other than Richard Stallman is the the founder of this Free Software Foundation and the GNU project. If you're his president, don't call it the GNU project. You won't hear the end of it. It is officially pronounced GNU according to him. I don't follow him a whole lot more. I think he's actually a little too far out there for me. However, I definitely honor a conversation with him or whatever else. But I don't know a whole lot more about him other than that. Linux Mint and Ubuntu always crashes my machine. Huh. That's a bummer. I used to get mad when the scammers called, but I just got to that point where I couldn't fight with them anymore, and so I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do something different. And I apologize, but the cat is just being too cute to not put that on the screen. Yeah, you're being cute. Keep doing that. Keep cleaning yourself, kitty. You're being cute. Don't stop being cute once I put the camera on you. Be cute. He's like, whatever. Yeah, I did not get a chance to catch that Linduke show with him yet. Oh, look at that. He's just going to go sleep again. He's being cute for just a few minutes there, and put him on, he stops being cute. All right. So our next topic, we are going to move on into scary tech. I don't have any super duper scary tech, but just some interesting tech. And this one here, I really wish I could run that animated background on this, because this one's just not the same without the animated backgrounds going on. So this is funny. So inmates at an Ohio prison, they're taking spare parts in, and they end up assembling their own computer, hide it into the ceiling, hack it into the prison network, and they actually set up Tor and some porn servers. Oh man, this is just like, what's going on? So literally, they have all these things on making drugs, explosives, all this other stuff on these little things. The Inspector General said it looks like an episode of Hogan's Heroes. Oh boy. Don't put this many technologically sound people inside of this. Okay, this one's kind of creepy. So Disney files a patent for Huggle interactive humanoid robots, which is going to be just very fun and cute until somebody decides how to hack them, because these things are not just, these things are going to be controlled outside, so you're going to get these robots coming online. As the robots are coming online, I'm just gonna wait for Mickey Mouse to start going postal in Disney World, crushing children in his grasps. And then a hacker comes on and just starts going, whatever, and makes him just, I don't know. It's kind of funny. And then, of course, what would be fun technology without having to yell into your microphone, "Okay, Google, what is the Whopper Burger?" So Burger King created an ad that forces your Google Home device to tell you all about Whoppers, because, of course, the 15-second commercial spot was, it was too expensive to go into a 30-second commercial spot. So use the 15-second, then you end it by having the thing say, "Okay, Google, what is a Whopper Burger?" So then Google comes back, and they block this commercial from triggering it through apparently an over-the-air update in the course of a second, which is scary. And then Burger King readjusted the commercial to do it again. "Hey Alexa, order me some unicorn meat. Hey Google, order me $1,000 of tea." What else is out there? Can I tell to go order something? I don't know. Anything else? So this is kind of crazy. Of course, we talked a little bit about planned obsolescence, forced obsolescence. How's this for creepy obsolescence, I guess? So here we have this ANOVA is... they have this device, which is a precision cooker. So the idea is you take your food, your marinade, your spices, your seasons, all this kind of stuff. You put it in here. And then apparently the thing can only be controlled by an app. Well, they just push an update to the app that now requires you to completely log in with an email address and a phone number and personally identifiable information to use your smartphone to use the device that's in your kitchen. At what point in time are we going to stop attaching IoT things to devices? I mean, at what point in time? At what point in time can we stop putting all this junk? So, the app updates, the person can no longer use their device. And I'm not sure. It's like, kind of like, you notice all these new, I just got a new sound system because my old sound system fried out. So, it took 12 years, but got a new sound system. And it's one of those ones that has this DVD player built into it, whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It was cheap. So I get this, plug it in. You can do nothing without the remote on this thing. The remote goes away, it dies. Well, imagine now if that remote is now, you don't need a remote, you just need to attach the thing up to your network and use your smartphone. Well, then they push an update that now requires me to log in. In fact, a better example, which I can't show you on my Galaxy because I reset it, is my media center. I have Kodi attached on an Open Elect media center in my living room, which I can control with my Galaxy or with my Android tablet. And I can simply go in there, push the app, and through the network, I can control that. I can play movies, play songs, do whatever, access the internet, whatever I need to do on my Kodi tablet on Open Elect. So I have all that set up. And then what happens is they push an update through the app that now requires me to log in. So I now have to log in, ping their servers with all the information I'm doing on my own device on my network to my other own device on my own network. That's what we're talking about. This is ridiculous, people. At what point in time can we stop doing this? At what point in time can we stop? Can we just stop connecting everything to the internet? Can we stop the IoT? Can we stop attaching whatever to anything? Can we just stop, please? Let's go back to a simple life where we do not have every single device connected to every single other device, all connected to the internet, all with privacy accounts, all pinging the servers, all pinging the databases. There's too much risk. There's too many problems. There's too much stuff that can go wrong. Let's just stop. Gee. But it gets worse. Gets worse. Garmin's new devices are out. Oh boy. YouTube policies 1984. Yeah, that's why I don't stay logged in with anything that I use anywhere else. Oh. Why stay home and cook? Well, you can't stay home and cook anymore. All right. So Linux Terminator, yes. Is that the Linux Terminator above you? Yes, the it is powered by Arch, I guess. I don't know. Going to lose all the skills we've built up since the dawn of man. Yeah, we're going to become stupid sheep or something. Make you watch an ad before you allow you to cook. Can't turn on the oven without the app. Did it advertise something? Can I install Ubuntu IoT for the cooker? I don't know. People need to be told when to breathe. Yes. Yes. Yes, the new Garmin. The new Garmin is out. The new Garmin is out. Yeah, I had to control myself with that fire, but I thought you guys might like that. The bottom line, I figured out my green screening and my transparency over OBS, so hopefully my audio didn't go crazy of doing that, but let me know if the audio was all right. That gives me some more input. All right. So yeah, everybody is now with their smart trackers are just trying to figure everything out, and they're just trying to kind of one-up each other. So now apparently, Garmin comes up with something that apparently can breathe for you. So it reminds me of this, and I apologize if this joke offends you, but this is not necessarily a safe place. So this blonde girl goes into a barber shop. She needs a haircut, and she's wearing some headphones. Where are my headphones? Perfect. She's wearing some headphones. And the barber's doing his thing. And he says, I gotta take your headphones off. She goes, no, you can't take the headphones off. He's all right. Does his very best job, goes around the headphones, does one of these, does one of these, does one of these. And what ends up happening is she has a bad looking haircut, and he knows it. And he's just like, this is not good. So she comes back in, still wearing her headphones. And the barber's doing his thing. He says, I got to take your headphones off. It did not look good last time. I got to take them off. She's like, you can't take them off. And so the barber's like, what's going on? What's going on? And it's a blonde. He picks up the headphones. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay. So apparently there is now breathing exercises and stress level charts dictated into the Garmin system. So now the thing can determine when you're breathing, how you're breathing. It can determine your charts. It can measure your your heart rate. Some of these they say they can measure blood sugar. I'm not sure if they can or not. But sleeping hours when you're stressed. Guys, this is scary stuff to be sending to the IoT. Do I need to go on fire again? Where's my lighter? Where's my lighter? I need to set myself on fire. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, melt off. Remember that from Turtles? Yeah. All right. And so, yeah. Oh, look at this. Google Fit's coming up with one now, too. Oh, Lord. Help us. Help us. speaking of Google, so apparently there's an update to the Google Assistant, which pretty much turns the entire thing now into a ad network that is basically just pushing you ads. So here they gave us screenshots of the old versus the new. So here's your Google shopping list. Here you have your functions, your ability to delete notes, add notes, add a drawing, make a copy, uncheck, check, hide, delete, whatever. New features. Google Express ads. No features, no controls, nothing. It's just an advertising. Of course, it ties right on into Google Shopping. Oh boy. So Google's kind of getting goofy as well. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're going to end with a little bit of good news for the day. And I'm going to try something real quick. Give me just 1 second. Never mind, I don't think I'm going to. I was going to attempt to put audio back or my something on my last little bit there, but we're going to see. All right, we're going to transition over. We are actually going to discuss a little bit of good news. There is actually a tiny bit of good news in the world. There is. I found some. I wanted to end on some good news sometime. So first, of course, I'm calling this good but scary, maybe good but bad. Good but troubling is what I actually called it in my link here. Good but troubling. Legislation allowing warrantless student phone searches dies for now. Attached to an anti-cyberbullying law in California, basically what they were trying to do is push this law which would allow any school administrator warrantless access to search phones and electronic devices of students. And that's kind of creepy. Now, it came up with a very rapid death. It died in legislature, which is good because this precedent would have been horrible. Okay? But the fact that somebody brought it up and the fact that somebody thought it might be a good idea is a disturbing thing in this country. Because I will remind you that this is the same state that voted for a very controversial law. It was absolutely shot down. And 15 years later, it became the law of the nation. And I'm not going to tell you what that law is, but you probably already know. That started in California. And this tells me that in 15 years, this type of thing could be the law of the land. And once it's in the schools, we'll just apply it to the rest of culture because we know. That's crazy. So, this is bad news that this is happening, but it's good news that it was shut down for now. Yay. Some good news bubbled up to the top. And, of course, the last one here is that, of course, with Pi keeps on spouting out things from his pie hole saying, he wants to clearly abolish net neutrality because that's what the ISPs want. Of course, why would the ISPs, they wouldn't possibly regulate anything bad. I mean, after all, the ISPs, they're out there for good customer support. And, just because Comcast is trying to release their new streaming service doesn't mean they would ever slow down Netflix. No, never, ever, ever. But, of course, the ISPs are given Pi. I wonder if ISP and PAE are in any way correlated. They must be. I think that guy should be wearing a NASCAR suit full of all their logos because it's clear where he's getting his money. But despite that, a whole lot of companies came out and said, no, leave net neutrality alone. So I think that these companies together can probably, hopefully, outpower Comcast. So as long as this list of companies grows bigger, and sleazy companies like Uber don't get kicked off of them I left out the whole Uber Hell program thing for the day, but, but anyway, as long as this group of companies continues to grow larger and larger and raise more awareness, then I think net neutrality is probably going to stay where it is, which is good because we need net neutrality to stay where it is. But all that being said, it's disturbing that somebody was even trying to do this at all to begin with. And so I wanted to kind of end with a little bit of good news. At least net neutrality is probably not going anywhere anytime soon, so that is good. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to transition back to a sleeping kitty cat and have a look at the comments. That was the last news article I had. All right. Let's see. Breathe in, breathe out. Wax on, wax off. Okay. Can we get our Google Polos with installed breathing instructors? Probably. Not be surprised. Make an app to remind people to think. Any coders out there? Good luck with that. Kind of reminds me, do I still have it on this phone? I might still have it on this phone. I have a very hilarious picture joke here somewhere. Oh yeah, I got it. We might need to go full view for that. All right. So here's the great adventures of Herbert the Hobo. Braids. Sorry, don't have any, man. Yeah, it reminds me of that. Google, never going to give you up. Well, and that's the thing. We'll talk about that a lot more on Wednesday because, yeah, there is definitely some crazy stuff out there. Yeah, never mind. I don't want to give away too much before Wednesday. That's going to be a good one, though. I know simple and/or Gates logic for Java. Okay. Haskell? You mean Pascal? I don't know. Unicorns are real? I don't know about unicorns, but I know they're meat you can certainly buy online. I lost my place. I lost my place in the comments. We already have third wave feminism and mind-numbing classes in college. You have no idea. Colorado, I heard, I think it was Colorado, passed a law saying, no, you may not make the entire campus a safe place. Sorry, you have to go to college and actually dialogue. Like, you know, we had some bad elements when I was in college, and we had some bad elements when I was a professor. But it wasn't all that bad, and people still encourage you to like, think a little, at least. And so, I don't know. Did you get here? AR points in college. Linux cat. Yeah, you can see him sleeping on my computer case there. Bottom left V cat logo. Yeah, okay, so the cat was sitting like that today. And so I snapped a photo and we photoshopped them into there. And if you were paying really close attention, you'll see that the logo there is called Switch to Kitty instead of Switch to Linux. But, all right. Go back here. Here was the actual kitty photo we used. And I think we did another one too. There we go. So, that's the kitty photo that got used to get cut into there. Greetings, Lance. I'm sorry you joined us so late. I need my Google gnome to teach me how to move my arm. Yeah. Just know to switch to kitty. Yeah. That was my friend's idea. And somebody else said switch the camera name to Switch to Kitty Cam, so I thought that was a great tip I threw in there. Yeah, you know, I actually taught chemistry in college. Frankly, let me tell you this. You know, I'm into Dave Ramsey, of course. In fact, that picture there that you can't see right there is me and Dave Ramsey. And you know, one of the things that he comments on, and you know, and says that, you know, he's gifted as a teacher, and there's a lot of people gifted as a teacher, but just because you're gifted as a teacher does not mean you have to go to a public school and be a teacher, or even a college and be a teacher. You know, I can teach tech right here. It costs you guys a whole lot less money. That's fine. Let's see. Haskell was taught in the 80s. I did not know Haskell was a newer programming language. Okay. Kids should be taught programming concepts at the high school level, at a high level, not a specific language. Yeah, I agree, but I'm not sure everybody is necessarily adapted for programming. Maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of, you know, programming is, and I gotta say, if I were in college nowadays, I'd probably be a programmer more than anything else. And the reason is I love programming and I'm really good at it. I'm unskilled at it because I have not had a chance to do a lot of programming in recent years. But the problem is, back at that time, it cost several $1,000s to get a C++ compiler. So unless I wanted to go to college every time I wrote a program, you know, it was too difficult. And all I could get is the freeware version, or the whatever version it was for the academics, and that just wasn't very good. But nowadays, like, every one of these compilers is free. I mean, PHP didn't exist back then, at least not on a level that was easily teachable, whatever else. And so if I could go back and do it again, if I were in college now, I would do that. But not everybody has that aptitude. And that's the thing that we have to be careful not to force everybody to take programming at a high level, because not everybody has that. Not everybody has that aptitude. And we have to keep that in mind and bear that in mind. But at least, you know what I think we should do is we should teach privacy at a better level. And if I get to it on Wednesday, we're going to talk about that too. If not, we're going to have a whole other, we might have 2 weeks of education-based tinfoil hat times in a row, just based on all this. Let me go back to the kitty. He's cuter than I am. Oh, he's got his face buried down in there. That's funny. We had more fun in college when cell phones and internet didn't exist. Yeah, I had one of the first cell phones when they first came out, like when they weren't attached to the bag. And so, I mean, the thing, it had a battery that might last, like, I think it might last like 4 or 5 hours if you kept on. So literally you never turned those things on unless you had to make a phone call with it. It was kind of crazy. Of course, it was a cellular one. I had 60 minutes a month on that thing for $19.99. Dude, it was awesome. But I was the cool guy. I had the cell phone in the car. Yeah. Rock it up, FPS machete. Okay. Thank God Kitty wasn't in the bathroom. Okay, Kitty Linux 1.1. How about knowing a language without making cool things? Yeah, I don't know. We're in an interesting world for now. That's for sure. That I know. Looks like we've come to about the bottom of the comments. I've come to about the bottom of my articles, and I think maybe what I might do on I don't know, what's today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. I think I might play around with just trying out some live streaming tomorrow sometime if I get the chance. I want to see if I can't figure out how to get video playing with everything else going. It might just be a modem issue. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But with all that being said, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up for now. And thanks for sticking around, everybody. It was a great time. I hope everyone else has as much fun time as I did. And with that, we are planning a live tinfoil hat time on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I may play around with a random live stream tomorrow just to test things out. I'm not sure if I'll make it public, private, whatever else, but we'll see what happens. And again, I have Amazon set up. If you want to help support the channel, I should have the Amazon link in the comments below this. And I'm setting a goal that by this time next week, I should hopefully have a Patreon account set up. So, good night, everybody. Have yourself a fun time, and I will see you next time. Oh, also, don't plan on looking for a video on Sunday. I'm just going to take the day off, you know. So, have a good one, everybody.